How we doing, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to navigate a room in DocuSign so you can learn your way around and be able to function for yourself, for your clients, and for compliance in your offices. So when you first get into a room, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to have a couple of different options. You'll notice that the address, the client, and if it's a listing or a buyer, whatever you put in your opportunity in command will populate in there. So what I always like to do is I like to work in a very logical order. And the way I like to do that is starting with details first. So if I click in details, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to edit. And when I hit edit, I'm going to start filling in details of this transaction. So this page is kind of broken into two. The bigger chunk here, the bigger columns, are all about the actual property. So we're going to make up an address here, Barkalot Place, and that is in Doggytown. It is in Palm Beach County. The state is Florida. The zip code is 33426. Property type, I'm going to say, is a residential detached house. The year built, this is a fairly new doghouse, 2019. So we're going to put all that in. We're going to scroll down. What day did we list it? Let's just say yesterday. When does it expire? A couple months. Original listing amount is $250,000. The current listing amount, so what maybe we did a price improvement and we put it at $245,000. And we are going to scroll down a little more and put in whatever the offer details are. So we got an offer on the first day that was for $240,000. It had $5,000 into escrow, and we're going to go through. We're going to fill all this stuff out. You get the idea. We're going to go through, fill all this stuff out, and this is what's going to actually pre-populate in our contracts. Then on the right side, we want to put in the sellers and our buyers. So we know our seller, that's my dog. If that seller had a spouse, we would put them in. The buyer, or the listing agent rather, is next. That's myself. If there's a second or a co-op listing agent, then we're going to switch over to the buyer. So buyer one, buyer two, buyer's agent one, buyer's agent two. When we do all that and we hit save, this is going to determine what pre-populates into our contracts, which we're going to continue in our logical order and do that next. So documents is what comes next. Now, if we want to add documents, what we're going to do is we're going to hit add, and we're going to go to DocuSign forms. So these are forms that your market center prepackaged for you inside of DocuSign. You're going to go to your library or your group, either one. For us, if we go to group, you can see all of our offices packages in there. So just for the purpose of this class, I'm just going to go with the simple one. I'm going to use the far bar as is, and I'm going to pick a couple. What you would do here is you would scroll through and pick anything that is actually relevant to your situation. So I might here pick the residential contract for purchase and sale, the as is, whatever one I want to use. I'm going to go as is. And when I do that, it's going to drop that document inside of my room. And now it gives me the ability to work on that. If I want to add any other people, that's what would come next. Here is where you would add maybe a coworker. So if I was going to add someone that I was partnering on this deal with, or a co-broke, I would do that. I'm going to add my buddy Matt just for the fun of it, put him on the list side and say that he's also an agent owner, meaning that he's someone else that can get in here and work on this loop with me. So if you have a productivity coach or someone that does deals with you, you want to throw them in there. Next is envelopes, and in envelopes is actually where you send things out for signatures. So think of an old-fashioned letter carrier where you're going to have to send an envelope to get something signed. So if we go into envelopes, you're going to create a new envelope when you want to get e-signatures. So I'm going to create a new one, and it gives me the opportunity to name that. So test for the doghouse. When I scroll down, I can pick to add documents to that envelope. So I can pick from the ones I already put in the room. I can use a template, or more, I can upload them from somewhere else. If you did this in the order that I suggested, it's nice and easy to just go in your room, pick the documents that you have that you know you're going to need to get signed, and hit add selected. So that goes in there nice and easy. When we do add recipients, what's great with this is if you did pre-tag roles, that means that you pre-filled in, which we did in the first step in details, the buyers and the sellers. So I'm going to pick pre-tag roles. I know that my seller one is who I need to sign this, and that was Lola, my dog. So I'm going to put it on there to her. It is a fake email, so this isn't going to work when I try to send it. But I'm going to add selected, and then I can create a subject that I want to put in there for her. So, Halo, please sign these and let me know when done. Whatever. When I go to do that, if I hit next, this is where I can actually see what's going on the contract and edit it before I send it out. So you'll see I plugged in the seller, we plugged in the address earlier, we plugged in the county that it was in Doggytown. And if you keep scrolling through, we can see what the offer price was. 5,000 is what we put for escrow. Remember, we didn't fill everything out in the interest of time, but you can keep going through and seeing what was filled out. And you'll be able to see that the initials are there. If you want to change or do any of these, you can. But this is what the client is actually going to get. So they're going to initial, and then it's going to scroll down, and then it's going to take them to the next one, and so on, and so on, and so on. Then when you hit send, what will happen is I'm sending to a fake email. So this is probably going to kick me back here. But this will actually send out to your client, and then you will get a notification that your client has it and is signing, just like we did in the past in Dotloop. You can go back to messages and see if there's any messages going back and forth. And you also have history in here. So in history, you can see when things were created, when the room was built, when things were updated, who I added to the contract, the envelopes that I created, the envelopes that I sent out. And this is your basic tour and guide and overview of DocuSign. So nice and simple. Make sure you follow things in a logical order. When you first get in, details first, then documents, then people, then envelopes for e-signatures. So I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. If this did help, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos. Have a great day.